forced displacement is very, very familiar to our people. We feel at home here. A very famous Filipino who lived and died here in Seattle, who's buried here, Carlos Bulosan, he was a migrant worker, said, where there is oppression, we have friends. We have friends here in Central District. We are here because the brother said that gentrification is colonialism. We are colonized peoples. The Filipino people are colonized peoples. That's why we're here. That's why there are so many Filipino Americans that have been displaced from our homeland. Why we're here. Why we continue to migrate. We are forced to migrate because the same forces that force displacement of communities of color here in the U.S. are the same forces that force workers to migrate out of their countries to survive. We have a common enemy. This enemy we call imperialism. Monopoly capitalism. I would like to, there's a very strong national liberation movement in the Philippines that started with the Philippine-American War in 1898. I will just share some pieces of history about the Philippine-American War. The U.S. soldiers who were invading the Philippines to occupy our country and colonize our nation included poor African-American soldiers. These soldiers were Buffalo soldiers. They were forced to fight Native Americans across the U.S. and commit genocide against them. These same soldiers, when they were killing Filipinos, realized that they were killing their brothers and sisters. And many of them joined the ranks of the Philippine Army and defected. We hold true to that initial outstanding example of anti-imperialist solidarity at the turn of the 20th century. It is still an inspiration for us. And when we say Black Lives Matter, we don't only mean it. We support all forms of Black resistance by any means necessary. Martin Luther King was a radical. No matter what they tell you, Martin Luther King was assassinated because he criticized capitalism. He was beginning to make linkages between what was happening with the poor people here in the U.S. and poor people in other countries where U.S. imperialism was invading and intervening. Brothers and sisters, if we are going to reclaim the spirit of MLK Day, let's do it through our international solidarity. Let me teach you a chant from the Philippines. It translates to down with imperialism. When I say imperialismo, that means imperialism. You say ibagsak. Bag-sak. Imperialismo!
Ibagsak!
Imperialismo!
Ibagsak!
Imperialismo!
Ibagsak!
Maraming salamat po. Thank you very much.
International solidarity! International solidarity!
So I just wanted to make a quick announcement. We got food back there, and the food's being handed out right now. Thanks to Cart W. Big ups to the allies.
Next up, we're going to bring up for you Joel and Nap from Bayan.
Warm and militant greetings, everyone! We are two representatives from Anak Bayan, USA, a comprehensive national democratic mass organization of Philippines. he was saying. We must recognize that we can't solve our problem now until there is a radical redistribution of economic and political power. This means a revolution of values and other things. We must see that the evils of racism, economic exploitation, and militarism are all tied together. You can't really get rid of one without getting rid of others. The whole structure of American life must be changed. America is a hypocritical nation.
Say it again!
America, as requested, is a hypocritical nation. And we must put our own house, not just the house in the US, but the house of the entire global order, in order. I will be honest with you. They're not just attacking the black community. It is an all-out war! And in that same vein, in the vein of the civil war we are fighting in the Philippines, we are here, like the Buffalo Soldiers were there for us to fight alongside all of you!
And we would like to connect the struggles of our black allies here with the struggles of Filipino youth here, Filipino youth in the Philippines. As Bernard said, the same agents of imperialism that send military to the Philippines are the same imperialist agents that kill black and brown folks and youth here by taking away money from education, housing, and basic social services. What's more, those gentrifiers, like this guy here and all other gentrifiers in this area, and all gentrifiers across the nation that appropriate our neighborhoods, have money because they exploit us. They exploit workers, they exploit immigrants, and they profit off of the imperialist military-industrial complex by working in those tech firms. All these, they all contribute directly and indirectly to killing people. And so with that, the black struggle for liberation is not only the struggle of black people, but it is the struggle of youth, all youth of color. It's a struggle of working class immigrants. It's a struggle of Filipinos here and in the Philippines. Fortunately for us, these scums are so fixated in their own greed that they've failed to see that they have been digging up their own graves. They have been pushing people to the sides, to the margins. They failed to recognize that they have been pushing us to organizing, to mobilizing, forcing us into waging a revolution. At the end of the day, it is us, remember, it is us who hold the power, who hold the intellect, who hold the resources that the rich exploit. We have the power, and that power we are demonstrating today by occupying this business. And so remember, the future is ours. Can everyone say that? The future is ours. But that future is not something that will be handed down to us. That future is something that we will need to fight for. And militantly, we will fight for that future. With that, Joel and I would like to lead the chant. The people united
Will never be defeated.
El pueblo unido
jamás será vencido. Ang tao, ang bayan, ngayon ay lumalaban. Long live international solidarity! Long live international solidarity! Long
we'd like to all welcome you into a practice that we adopted from the South African community called the Toy Toy. We call it the Hoy Hoy, because if you know Filipino, they're gonna be like, Oi, halika dito. So I know you all sat down, but please feel free to rise as you, and please come closer to me, because I don't like distance.
I was like, what?
No, so, you guys, you all, we're going to collectively work together, build up our energy, build up our power in this space, reclaim it for the people, and you're gonna start doing this, some exercise. Okay, ready? Say hoi hoi! Say hoi hoi! Say hoi hoi! Say hoi hoi! All my people! You say hoi hoi. All my people! All my people! Stand together! All my people! Raise your knees! 90 degrees! Raise your knees! Build the people! Tell them now! We ain't gonna stop! The people here! The people here! Can they hear it? Louder now! Louder now! Louder now! Central District! We are here! People united! We will stand for your fight against capitalism! Imperialism! People now! Stand now! Raise your knees! 90 degrees! Raise your knees! 90 degrees! Louder now! I can see you! Louder now! Louder now! Tell them there! That we will stop them! That we will stop them! Tell them now! Tell them now! Imperialism! We will fight! The people united! The people here! With that, it's Thank you.
We'll get to you. You want me to introduce you? You just want to take it? But we got some powerful people here, right? United we stand. No, we don't fall. United we stand.
United we stand!
United we stand.
United we stand!
United we stand.
United we stand!
And they will fall.
And they will fall!
United we stand.
United we stand!
And they will fall.
And they will fall!
United we stand.
United we stand!
And they will fall.
And they will fall!
United we stand.
United we stand!
And they will fall.
And they will fall!
Now we're gonna bring up bipolar. How y'all doing? Good. So how many of y'all are from Seattle? Okay, that's good. So y'all remember how it used to be, right?
Yup.
Before gentrification hit our streets,
Yup.
before weed and seed, before they arrested us for being on Rainier or 23rd, trespassing us from our own city. Before that happened, does everybody remember that? Okay. Before marijuana shops that not only gentrify our neighborhood, because we don't get access to that, but also they fund the police who terrorize and push us out of our neighborhood. So let me say this with y'all real quick. Can you repeat after me? Boycott legal buds. Boycott legal buds. Boycott legal buds. Boycott legal buds.
Boycott.
Yeah. So check this out. I'm an MC. We don't have beats today. And I speak and organize. And here's the thing. Not only is Legal Buds fund police, but if you notice, who got the permits? Gentrifiers. Not a single person who had been out here grinding and hustling, trying to feed their children, got a permit. It seems like they want to change. It seems like they want to change decisions and make decisions based off killing us, taking us away from our land because they want to make a plan like Uncle Sam wants to get wealthy off our backs. Because they don't give a shit when we walk through these streets suffering. They don't care when we're in prison. They say it's for our decisions, but they're missing because they're tripping. They want to make paper off our back. They want to build prisons so they can fund the military. Anybody heard of Unicore? Unicore is a program that when they take our people from our communities and put them in prison, they are able to pay them $60 a month to, at max, if you're the head, $400 a month for 12-hour days building military weapons that are sent across the seas to kill our brown and black brothers and sisters. And gender non-identifying folks, too. Just to put that out there. So what we see is the abuse of the system, the abuse of the people who came in. We're the same people who colonized this land and stole it from the indigenous, which is, I just want to say, remember, we're on Duwamish land, so we always got to pay that respect. Anytime we step here, every time we step to a mic, anytime we step on this land, because it was taken by violence. The type of violence that wants to silence and put us in the grave. Take everything from this land and hide it in a cave like wealth for self because they don't care. They're selfish. All they want to do is take all the fish and the plants out to sea and make us not be able to breathe because they want to get paper. It's a caper. Bush, Obama, they're all in on it. They lying to us because they want to have us follow them, but they're hollow in their heart. Because they sit here, well, how many people here, here's a question, have been to prison or jail? So there are only a few of us here. Why is there only a few of us here? Because if we thought about that, ask that question 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, that'd be like half this crowd. And also the faces within this crowd would be even more darker folks. There'd be less white people here. That came from somewhere. That went somewhere. Where did it go? South King County, Tacoma, Olympia. Places that around the time they implemented weed and seed, they projected to be buried in Lahar flow from Mount Rainier when it explodes. So not only is it gentrification, but it's genocide based off environmental racism, is the word I'm looking for. But it's in us. It's on us to change it. And I want to say, y'all should give yourself a round of applause, because if you know what's behind me, this place is shut down right now. So, I want to ask everybody to remember, this is a campaign. This isn't just today. We need to keep this going. We need to make sure that they make reparations for the wrong they've done to communities that have been here, that have suffered here, that have lived their life and struggled here. So we need you. We need you to keep coming back. We need you to connect with us, please. Many powerful organizers behind me and around me. Please connect with each other, because this world is this place we can't let it continue to be. We need to completely change the direction this is going. Locally first, and then nationally. Because once we change what's locally, we show the power that we have, and we can connect with other communities from other places that will build with us. One thing that we often forget is there's a history atop a history. Can I hip you to something real quick? So, hey, raise your hand if you think Washington State was named after a white man. Washington State was named after George Bush Washington, a black man, the first person over here who got lynched in Pasco. And I'm not saying he's a great dude, because he didn't respect the space of the indigenous, and I want to put that out there, because we made our mistakes too from our ancestors and so on and so forth. But that was the gratitude that we got. Now, Seattle, King County particularly, right, was not named after Martin Luther King. The king it was named after was a notorious racist, white supremacist. And then they put Martin Luther King's face on it the nerve, the disrespect that shows to the individual who gave their life and had it taken by the U.S. government, according to court documents. So, I'm gonna wrap this up by saying, please connect with each other. I am gonna plug myself a little bit. Please add me on Twitter, bipolar_TC. Check. And let's shop it up. I want to just build. I want to share my music, but I want to build too. So, like, if people want to, like, hit me up, connect. Also connect with, like I said, a lot of these beautiful organizers around here because they're really powerful and are doing a lot of things. I'll leave you with one more freestyle poem, and I seem to be fucking it up right now.
You got it, brother.
I grew up on these streets. I couldn't even breathe or see a future for me. They wanted me in a cell and they got me there living in hell. Then I got out and my neighborhood is gone. Seattle's changed up all along because they never had planned to let us stay. They wanted to use us to take up the toxicity of the soil until it's spoiled, then make us go. Because they want to show us the way we're going to end up in a prison or dead because they don't care. They want us as slaves to this day. They want the cash right here. They keep their mind in gear, trying to put us in a cage or take our lives. But they don't survive if they continue to go down their path because they're going to destroy us all. But we can change it right now and make sure that it all falls. Like the pyramids, the white supremacists start to go because we cannot live no longer. We got to show that we're here to fight for our children. Fuck what the rich are feeling. Peace.
How y'all doing? My name is Renee Giroux Green. I'm a black trans femme, and I want to talk about someone who, a historical figure who is very important to me. How many people here know who Marsha P. Johnson is? Good. Marsha P. Johnson was a black trans woman born in New Jersey in 1945. She was at the Stonewall riots, which were in 1969, and kind of kicked off the whole LGBT liberation movement. Some people say she started them. Yeah. And along with Sylvia Rivera, a Puerto Rican trans woman, she co-founded STAR, the Street Transvestite Action Revolutionaries, which were the first transgender rights organization in America. STAR would take in trans women off the street, get them clothes, get them food. When these women themselves barely had any resources, they just did what they had to do. She was in and out of homelessness. She was a sex worker. She was prosecuted by the police many times. But she also had a very vivacious personality. She always walked around with flowers in her hair, wearing beautiful dresses, and just everyone who saw her remembered her presence. Unfortunately, in 1992, she was murdered, and her body was found in the Hudson River. The police reported it was a suicide, but we know better. The police, then as now, are not trying to prosecute people for the murder of black trans women, which is why we have to look after and take care of ourselves. The police would rather arrest and criminalize black trans women. But we must not only look after ourselves, we must also make sure the rest of the black community is looking for us. Because sometimes we have these black spaces and they are not always welcoming for black trans folks, for black queer folks, for black trans women. And that's not some special black homophobia. That's a fucking myth. It ain't real. But there is homophobia and transphobia in our community, as in all of the communities here. And we need to fight that. We need to make sure when we have black spaces, we center black trans people. We center black trans women. We center black queer people. Bear with me a second. Black trans lives matter.
Black trans lives matter.
Black trans lives matter.
Black trans lives matter.
Black trans women matter.
Black trans women matter.
Black queer people matter.
Black queer people matter.
Maya Hall, murdered by police in Baltimore, Maryland. Maya Hall, say her name.
Maya Hall.
Maya Hall, say her name.
Maya Hall.
Poppy Edwards, say her name.
Poppy Edwards.
Lamia Beard, say her name.
Lamia Beard.
Goddess Edwards, say her name.
Goddess Edwards.
Technical difficulties. Ty Underwood, say her name.
Ty Underwood.
Taja De Jesus, say her name.
Taja De Jesus.
Penny Proud, say her name.
Penny Proud.
Bree Golick, say her name.
Bree Golick.
Keisha Blythe, say her name.
Keisha Blythe.
London Chanel, say her name.
London Chanel.
Mercedes Williamson, say her name.
Mercedes Williamson.
Jasmine Collins, say her name.
Jasmine Collins.
Ashton O'Hara, say her name.
Ashton O'Hara.
India Clark, say her name.
India Clark.
Amber Monroe, say her name.
Amber Monroe.
Elisha Walker, say her name.
Elisha Walker.
Keisha Jenkins, say her name.
Keisha Jenkins.
Black trans lives matter.
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 Thank you.
Gonna make a request, everybody. We want to let this car right here get out. They've been appreciating and sharing our protest with us, but they got some things that they got to get to. It was brought to my attention that we let some white folks out, and now we got some black folks who want to get out, so. Right, we let out, we don't let in.
No, there's a section I didn't get to earlier.
All right, let's bring it back in. Let's bring it back in.
Roped up holding this damn thing. I know. And I'm like, I don't know when you're going to come back. Oh, do that.
Keep filming.
Do I have your number?
No.
What's it going to do?
Well, remedy that.
In the future, for when
Bring
I'm
it in,
sending
bring it in.
frantic text messages being like, who wants to paint this banner with me?
Let's make it tight. Let's make sure we got nobody that's able to get in over here.
No, really.
There's another car.
I partially joined this group to make more friends.
Yes, you're right. I know. Hold on.
I ain't going nowhere.
Just gonna do the whole journey for you here.
No worries.
Boom.
So is this the white truck that's moving?
Yeah, cool. Oh yeah. Well, I was gonna say call me, then I'll have your number.
Well, my number's going to change in tomorrow probably because I'm getting a new phone, but I'm calling you right now. Yeah, you have my number for a second.
Okay.
What's going on here?
Okay.
What's he doing? I have another cookie.
You want a cookie to Scott?
Well, I guess he's not moving. So we can bring it back in and we keep this show rolling. Maybe it's time for another beatbox.
Yeah!
You never had that done on that speaker. Okay, I think we're ready to go. All right, so next we're going to bring up here to speak to us Matt Remley, Lakota, and has also done a lot of work on the Indigenous Peoples Day.
When I saw y'all coming through the corner, I was like, oh,
Amataki epi. Chante wa stea na pet yuse pelo. Wakia wanatan e machiapelo. Ya waslaha e matahan yalo. Ampetukile tuwame shoyate ki wopila tanka. Na tuwame makoche ki wopila tanka. Hello, good afternoon. My colonized name is Matt Remley. My Lakota name is Wakia Waanatan, which translates to Charging Thunder. I'm Hunkpapa Lakota from Standing Rock, but live here in the lands of the Duwamish people. And first and foremost, like to give acknowledgement to the Duwamish for their lands and to the peoples that all of us are guests in. A little bit of history. The sister opened up, put in a request to know the history. And in 1860s, one of the first acts of the Seattle City Council was to pass an ordinance to ban the Duwamish and Native peoples from the Seattle city limits. After they passed that followed white people burning down the 90-something Duwamish longhouses that were in this territory, driving Native peoples out from the city of Seattle. So it's good to know this history because this is the lands, and even up here in this area was the site of one of the Duwamish longhouses. So we must always give acknowledgement to the peoples from whose lands that we're standing on. And today I'd like to give thanks to the organizers to come and stand in solidarity with Black Lives Matter, with our relatives in this fight, a struggle against colonization, against genocide, against imperialism. And it's good to stand in solidarity with all of you. And so much good words were shared today that I'm not going to share too much more. We'd rather just offer a song. This comes from the American Indian movement, who this kind of became their anthem of solidarity across Indian country. And actually, one quick other story, our Filipino brothers and sisters were sharing, there's a long tradition in history and connection between the native peoples of this area and Filipinos who came to work in the canneries and other places. And because of miscegenation laws, they weren't allowed to marry white people, so they married into the tribes. So we actually just had we call it Indo-Pino Festival out in Bainbridge Island. One of our well-known folks here, Bernie White Bear, was mixed Native and Filipino and led the occupation of Daybreak Star, where Daybreak Star is now. So we got a long shared history together. I'd actually like to ask the organizers to make some noise for the organizers for today's event. Stand up here because this is to give you guys strength. So the organizers today, if you can come stand up here, we're going to put this energy out there to give them some strength to continue this good work.
Only one person is watching the live stream. Can I turn this off?
Resistance begins when we move past what they say is acceptable for us to do. When we permit a march, that's not necessarily resistance until we step 1 foot further than what they say is okay. You know, when they say that filming the police is illegal, film the police and do what Ohm said. Talk about it. We saw they wasn't doing nothing wrong. That's resistance. When you see something wrong in the neighborhood, somebody doing something wrong, some patriarchy stepping out, some racism coming up, some, like, whatever. The world doesn't have no shortage of injustice. We should be fighting all day long, every day. We gotta eat sometimes. People tell me I should sleep. But we should be fighting all day, every day.
Self-care is a fight. Wanted to offer that.
Intersectionality is very real. Systems of oppression layer in ways that most of us cannot even conceive of. And the next person that we're going to bring up is somebody who I have watched live and fight and thrive for the people through those layers of intersectionality in ways that boggles my mind. And she's one of the filthiest MCs I've ever seen. Rogue P9.
Yo, what's up, Seattle? Central District? Everybody say Black Power.
Black power.
Black Power.
Black power.
Say Black Power.
Black power.
Black Power.
Black power.
Say Black Power.
Black power.
Yo, I'm here today as a queer Filipina immigrant. I'm a resident of the Central District, and I know that my own liberation is inextricably bound to those of Black people, and I'm here for Black power and Black resistance. I want to give thanks to the Duwamish and to our Native sisters and brothers who were here blessing us with their song earlier. I want to give lots of love to my Black comrades who are organizing this today. And I want to give all my love to the revolutionary Filipino youth who gave so much passion and commitment this weekend, and to all of my communities here. I know that Bayan and Anak Bayan already broke you down earlier, so I'm just going to go into my offering of culture. This one is for the youth, and I'm just going to do a call and response. It's going to be at the last part of the song, but I want y'all to be ready. So when I say, it's you and I, you say we do or die. It's you and I.
We do or die.
It's you and I.
We do or die.
It's you and I.
We do or die.
It's you and I.
We do or die.
Born with a soul torn by sins of the father, violence took form, child bore by a mother suffering too long in times of war, in her own home struggling because we're fighting for the lives of her children. 5, all of us feeling like every day against our backs, little chance of getting right. A simple life is something I've never known, been hella grown since I was 9, came to the States in 95, straight to the 9-to-5 grind. For my mother and sister, I was ridiculed in school. Every night I wished to be different, wider and more confident, rebel just for the hell of it. That I would be prominent one day. Now a veteran immigrant, you may say that is imminent, this magnificent itinerant, taking the cake. As for the icing, can't blind me with nice things. My fire brings truth to life aside, singing to the night. Strike a match for every child who can never go back. Make it fast on the grind. We already know that when it lasts, we find the light that shines for you. Know that it will shine true. Feel the might of the youth on the block, hit the ground in the town. We're back, fuck a cop in the sound. They're coming for the black and the brown. Folks be catching runs one day, come around, but I will not let you down. We will burn this town, set a blaze to the day. Stop wasting away in the hearts of the wind, making trails of paper, cash money, fast money. Tomorrow we hungry. Money, live humbly, stop borrowing, dummy. Live each of your days infinitely. Get rid of the hate, intimately. Maintain your case most definitely. Make space for infinity. We go beyond the places never meant to be infinity. The road to home is you and me. Working to free you and me. Can't you see that? Don't want you to live fast or die young. Before you can find God in your reflection, ask the questions they've been afraid to ask. Betrayed when set to task. They have shamed you and masked the truth when it's evident that you set to represent. Well, we set the precedent. Yes, we not the president. His imminence is no longer resonant. Honor this covenant. It's you and I. We do or die. It's you and I. We do or die. You and I.
Do or die.
You and I.
Do or die.
You and I.
Do or die.
You and I.
Do or die. No justice, no peace.
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 That's right. I'm gonna bring up some of my kasamas up here. Do a little jam for y'all. Wake me up. Heto na. Hindi pa rin nakakaahon sa hirap ng buhay. Maraming ginagawa ang maliliit kung kamay. Ang likod naging tulay. Pagod na ako, day. Ilang mundo na ba ang aking napaugnay? Di pa rin mapalagay. Hinahanap ang pwesto. I might spend in dollars, but I think in peso. Bayan ko walang presyo. Pilipinas not for sale. Was never a fantasy made for you to avail. Knowing justice will prevail. I'm married to the cause. Keep it roguish like no one else you'd ever come across. Ano boss? Kailangan ko pa ba ipapatunay? Ilang beses na sinabi, dapat tayo'y maingay sa daming mga bagay na kinukuha sa atin araw-araw nagsasaka. Ibang taong kumakain, inan namin sumasaing, walang magulay at daing anak niya pinapatay. Walang suliranin sa bayan, bayan, bayan ko. Layaan ka, layaan. Patapos ng laban mo. Kalayaan ka, kalayaan. Revolution, revolution. Kalayaan ka, kalayaan. Tulong mo, tulong mo.
Yeah. Running through the sea, comrades and me, send a revolution. My heart up on the sleeve, what you see. I see my people all up in the streets. Above ground, struggle, arms up, say peace. See, I got that from my mother who came down here from an island. Reasons why she left are painted now in my eyelids. My iris holding the vision that light the fire. Fire is changing system that keep the massa all starving. Keep the people all longing, keep my family parted. Keep the children all dying and keep the people all squatting. Can't keep the people from rising, my people are always fighting. Got that from my sisters are all babalas now. All I wanna do is know my cousins are alright. And all I wanna see is that my grandmother's eyes. And all I wanna feel is what freedom feel like. And the only thing I hope is that you're standing by our sides like
bayan, bayan, bayan ko. Layaan ka, layaan. Patapos ng laban mo. Papailan, papailan. Revolution ni Bonifacio. Kalayaan, kalayaan. Tulong mo, sulong ko. Papailan, papailan. Bayan, bayan, bayan ko. Kalayaan, kalayaan. Patapos ng laban mo. Papailan, papailan. Revolution ni Bonifacio. Kalayaan, kalayaan. Tulong mo, sulong ko. Makibaka, makibaka, wag matakot, wag kang matakot. 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 Thank you so much love to y'all. I'm going to close out with my favorite chant. If you know it, say it with me. It's bourgeoisie, run and hide, black and brown, they're side by side.
and brown are side by side.
Bourgeoisie, running high.
Black and brown are side by side.
Bourgeoisie, running high. Black and brown are side by side.
How's everybody doing today? Woo, woo, woo. Woo is right. So we're going to have two amazing speakers come up, two amazing young Muslim black women going to come up and talk. And there's one thing that I would like you all to respect, and it's please turn off your cameras. Different people have different risk levels, and it's important to understand that in terms of security.
We're not here for pictures.